How's the old saying go? Don't judge a book by its cover. I think it's a pretty straightforward statement. What you see on the outside might not tell the whole story about the inside.
The same holds true for a house. The windows may be clean and clear. The paint might be new and perfect. You might not even find a squeaky door. But there is a lot that can be happening behind the walls, under the floorboards, and even under the house itself. In other words, what we're saying is what you see is not always all of what you get. Now, someone who knows this and has seen it firsthand is Robert Axel. He's the general manager of AmeriSpec. Thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Always my great pleasure, friends. Thank you.
So I got a question for you. You inspect homes. You've seen it all, even with newly constructed homes. There's lots of things.
I've only had one time where we've walked out of a house and gave them a round of applause and say, good job, there's nothing to see here.
How about that? Well, that's good stuff.
Yeah. So what are some of the issues you're looking for?
Well, we look at over 400 different aspects of a home, everything from the roof down to the foundation, electrical, plumbing, and everything in between. So we're definitely scouring the home for lots of hidden defects and probably some issues that could even be potentially life-threatening, unfortunately.
And you've seen things even regarding fire.
Yeah, so unfortunately, we had to do a post-inspection for someone who decided to waive their home inspection contingency. Their agent recommended that they don't bother getting a home inspection so that they can be competitive. So they had a general contractor relative who walked through the house with them and said, okay, there's no problems here, you're good to go. Unfortunately for them, they had aluminum wiring and their house caught on fire and a lot of it burnt down. The good news is they weren't home. So obviously they survived that, but it could have been much worse. And even though they were able to not be harmed themselves, they lost a lot of keepsakes. I mean, there's things that are irreplaceable in all of our lives.
And that's the pictures we're looking at here, is of that fire.
Yeah, and
wow.
so you're going to see a couple pictures of that fire, and it's unfortunate, but I'm thankful. Number one thing is the people are safe, the people are alive.
Right.
They could have avoided that if they'd had us come in there.
And another issue that people don't see is termite damage, right?
Very true. Termite damage is hard to pick up on. Now, you have different lending programs out there, and some lenders, like a VA loan, for instance, will make you get a wood destroying insect inspection. So you don't have an option to waive that during your contractual period. Okay. So we had one particular case where we went out to do a wood destroying insect inspection, and this was recently, and unfortunately, there was a lot more than just wood destroying insects that should have been looked at. This was a stucco house. It had cracks in the stucco. There was moisture penetration issues. They had bubbling on their deck, so their membrane had come loose. They had older HVAC and water heaters that probably weren't even operating. They had so many issues that with easily, I would say conservatively, they had over $50,000 worth of repairs that will need to be done for that house. And you know, it's a seller's market, so sometimes people are already overpaying for a house. So when you waive your home inspection contingency and then you go in and find out that you have another $50,000, $70,000, $100,000 worth of repairs, that could be a tough pill to swallow. And if you don't know what you're looking for, you might not understand what you're getting into.
So passing a home inspection could be dangerous.
Well, a home inspection can definitely save lives. For instance, I told you about the electrical fire with aluminum wire. There's typically, on average, over 500 people a year die from electrical fires. And you also have more than 400 people a year that die from carbon monoxide poisoning. And you would know about this, Jimmy. I mean, you're a firefighter. Over 50,000 people wind up going into the hospital from carbon monoxide poisoning, and then, as I said, over 400 on average lose their lives. So the point being is, you know, there's unexplained headaches you get sometimes, and you know, that's one of the symptoms of having high carbon monoxide. So if you have any fuel burning appliance in your home, there's an opportunity for carbon monoxide, and that's something a home inspector is going to look for.
Right.
And you say it's a seller's market, so some people may be in a hurry to get their house on the market, but you suggest a pre-listing inspection.
Well, we absolutely recommend a pre-listing inspection. That way, there's no hidden surprises that are going to hold up the deal. We also recommend, if you're going to waive your home inspection, to get one for informational purposes, if at all possible, and then even a post-closing. home inspection. So, okay, the house is yours, it's closed, there's no contingencies. I've been here for a week, but I want to protect my family. I don't want to find out about aluminum wiring or, you know, carbon monoxide poisoning or anything else. So have us come in, do a post-closing inspection, and that way you'll still understand what shape your home is in and be able to protect your family.
So even if you're not selling the house, it's good knowledge to have.
Yeah, well, we do what's called an annual property review for lots of people also. It's not a full home inspection. We're not testing every outlet, opening every window,
right.
But we are looking at the roof, the foundation, the major appliances, your electrical, your plumbing. So we're still giving you a nice safety check. And on top of that, instead of spending thousands of dollars to repair something, if you get it ahead of a time, it might only be a couple $100.
A small price to pay for peace of mind.
Amen.
Robert, thank you so much. AmeriSpec. We
My
have
great
information on our website, delmarvalife.com.
Thank you, friends.